Hey all, this is Callan again, and at this point you should have all your BlogPronto accounts set up, and we are ready to start getting into the fun stuff with endpoints and workflows and actually creating your first test blog post. Uh, to kind of explain further, we are addressing this part of the account. Go to blogpronto.com and then your account, and you have your publish post endpoint, your unpublish, your update, and delete post endpoints that we need to fill out to update our bubble app. And how this works is each one of these expands and collapses, and you'll have your live endpoint, your test endpoint, and you'll be able to initialize to set up the endpoints. And you'll be able to toggle which ones your blog posts are being sent to from the editor. So if this is on, it's getting sent to live. If this is off, it's getting sent to test. So let's get started with the first one, which will be publishing blog posts. So head over to your blog prompt, or well, it won't be for you, but your bubble app. And what I recommend doing is creating these API workflows. First, am I able to unclick out of this? Yeah. Create publish post, create unpublish post, create update post, and create delete post. If you're not sure how to get here, this is the backend workflows link here. And before you even add any actions like I have below here, go ahead and detect the data that we're going to be using here. So this is normally going to be set to manual. Click detect request data and click this detect data. Copy this, head over to Bubble. So like I said, we're working on publish. So go here and click initialize. And this is where you paste the URL you just had there and send data. What that's going to do is send all of the information that you will get from a blog post. This is like an example one that I'm sending through. And what you'll want to do is go through, you'll change feature image to be an image data type. Featured should already be yes, no. Created at, updated at, published at. These are going to be dates. Not everyone will use these. These are mainly if you have like an existing blog post that you want to get into the system that maybe it's from 2007 and you don't want to like show that it was created in Bubble like today, but the blog post is from 2007. You want to override that. You can use these pieces of information here. Let's see. You'll change the reading time to be a number. The open graph image will be an image. These are also kind of not used as much, but they're good to have there. And yeah, the rest of that will be text elements. So I already have this saved, so I'm just going to cancel out. But all right, now you have your data types set up for publish post. Go ahead and do the same thing next for unpublish. So you will detect data, copy that, go down to unpublish, initialize, paste, send through. And this one you'll see is we're only getting the post ID through because we only need to search that and update it to be unpublished. So that's why you only see that there. So you'll go ahead and save that. I'm clicking cancel. Next one is update post. Same process. Detect data. Go to update post. Initialize, send it through, And a lot of these are going to be the exact same setup as publishing a post. You're just updating the content there. So same things: feature image, featured, the dates, reading time, and open graph image. Go ahead and make those changes to be the associated data types and click save. And then our last one is going to be delete post. Hit detect data, take it over here, delete post, initialize, and then send it through. And yes, you can see the same thing, just the post IDs coming through. Another point I'll make is that you can go ahead and run these without authentication, because the authentication essentially for this is the emails matching between both platforms. They're unique. You can't have duplicate emails. So that's essentially the authentication. And you can keep privacy rules unchecked to keep your data fine there. So make sure they're all running there. Okay. Great. So at this point, you're not going to have anything down here, but you have all of these set up. And you can either do this earlier or like you can do it as you're doing it, or now as I'm doing. So go ahead and copy that initialization URL, and we're going to start filling out the endpoints that we're going to be pointing to. So by default, it has this initialize piece at the end. You get rid of that, and you can see this matches the backend workflow. So it's delete post. And to do the live one, you take out the version test piece. Even if you update your domain name here, you still can use this URL. It's still going to be the same. So go ahead and click save, and you'll see your test URL in there. And what I kind of do is just open up all of these. So paste in for the live endpoints, and this one is unpublish. This one is publish, and this one is update. Okay, copy this one through, same thing. This one is update. This one is unpublish. And this one is publish. Okay, so you probably typed it right, but just go through and do the double check to make sure there's not any weird slashes that you forgot, or make sure this matches up exactly with this part here. Doesn't need to match up here. It's this part. So I'm going through, I'm looking, that one looks good. Unpublish, unpublish. Yeah, version test. Okay, looks good. Update, update. It's update. Good. And delete, delete. Okay, we're all good there. So we have all of our endpoints set up here. So now anytime we're posting or doing anything from here, it's going to be sending them to our test endpoints right now, because that's what we have selected. Once we're ready to go live, we toggle this switch. So right now, anything we're doing, it's getting sent here. We don't have any, well, you don't have any workflow steps set up yet, but we're good now. So let's start going through and addressing each API workflow, starting with publish. So we have our data. In the previous video, you already set up your blog post data type. So what you can do now is we want to I guess at a high level, create a new blog post in our system, only if we haven't already created a post. So you can unpublish and publish posts. So you basically want to check and make sure you're not creating duplicate posts. So we'll do that first. And then if it's a new blog post, we want to set the slug for the post to be nice and friendly for search engines. And then from there, we want to change the status of the post to be published. So this is what that looks like. You'll see this first piece is author. And because this is just customizable to how you want to do it, typically how I do it, I'm the only one writing blog posts for my sites. So I just search for a user and then search for a user that has an email with, then I'll type in my email name there so that it finds me and assigns me as the user. So that's an easy way to do it. There's plenty of ways that you can customize that. Created that, and a lot of these other pieces of data, all you're going to do is use the request data that we got earlier, and then get the corresponding piece that needs to match up with it. So I do that for this. Created at custom excerpt. I'll go down to ones. I think all of them. Yeah, all the rest of them, you just go through and do it for all of that. And like I said, we're only doing this when the post doesn't already exist. So only when, and then do a search for post, where the post ID equals the post ID from here that we're getting. And I do when that count is 0. I think for performance, you might want to do when first item is empty, but I think either way works. I haven't messed around a whole lot with first item is empty, but that might save you a little bit of workload units because you're not having to count all of them. But either way, a conditional here. So it goes through, it creates the new post. Now we're setting the thing slug. What we're setting is the post we created in the first step, and set it to be the title is what I do. Yeah, so only when the slug is empty. So that you have to add that on there because, like I said, when we're unpublishing and publishing, you don't want to always be resetting that slug there. Then continue through to make changes. So what post are we making changes to? The one with the matching post ID. And we're just going to set it to yes each time. It's okay because every time this is going to be published, it's always going to be yes. So yep, set that. And then from there, you are able to publish your first post if you want to. So what you can do is go over to the BlogPronto editor and create a new post. So let's call it test post video. Something cool. Add an image if you want. That looks cool. Let's insert that. And then depending on what you want to test, you can add the metadata. So I won't add it in there now, but you can see what it'll look like there. Yeah, so we'll close that and let's go ahead and check, make sure we have our endpoints here. It's going to go to this endpoint and it's doing all that. So let's go ahead and publish the bubble. And this is where you can change it to schedule it for later if you want, or we're just going to do it right now and go ahead and publish. Boom, it's published. And let's go to our app and let's see here, app data, all posts, boom, something cool. You have all that information in there, so it is working beautifully. All right, so now let's go into the workflow to where we want to unpublish it. So we already have detect data, make changes to the post, same thing, searching by the post ID, set it to no. This is an easy one, and it should be set up. So if you want to test it, back to the editor, unpublish, unpublish and revert. Nice, okay, so let's go to here, go to our data, and then we should see that it is not published anymore. No. So good. That's working as well. And now let's go, let's see, to update post. And we want to, this one's a little beefier as well, but it's essentially the same as publish post. You're just making changes to a post instead of creating a new thing. So you're going to find, same thing, find with the post ID, and yeah, just set the pieces of information that you need to. So I don't have in here, like you'll see those dates are missing, like the published date and created date. For me, I'm just gonna change the updated date, and I might even change that to not even worry about it later. But if you want them in there, you can set that every single time. It'll keep it the same. But yeah, just go through. So all of it. I don't set the author either because like for me, it's just always going to be the same. But maybe you want to set the author each time. Completely up to you. So make changes. So to make any updates to a post, it has to be not in draft format. It has to be published. So let's go ahead and publish. And then let's say I want to change this to be test post video for real. And if we click update, that will update it. Let's go to our data and let's make sure it refreshes here. Okay. And test post video for real. You can see it updates here. So boom, that's working. Usually recommend make a post that has all these different pieces of information filled out to make sure everything is looking good. Yeah, the base level, it's working. And then last thing is deleting a post. So same thing, we're passing in the post that we want to delete and yeah, just use it there. So for me, I just have a like delete thing action set up, but you could have like let's say you don't want to delete actual posts for SEO reasons or whatever. You could have like an option set of like, you know, published, deleted, whatever it is, and then change the state of the post. You don't actually have to delete it here, but it will be getting deleted from the blog post editor. So it just depends how you want to do that. But for me, I'm deleting it. So let's go ahead and delete by going here and delete post. Yep, we warned DK, and it's going to delete it. And let's go back to the account here, and yeah, sad, our post is gone. So perfect though. I mean, we have all these awesome things that we're able to do with the blog post editor, and all our endpoints are working. When you're ready to push it live, you can. And the last piece I would mention too is that when you're scheduling blog posts, the scheduling happens on the BlogPronto editor side of things. So you don't need to account for any scheduling in your workflows. So if I schedule this for a week from now, it's going to wait to publish until a week from now, and then in a week it'll go through your publish workflow. So it's just the same as when you were doing it before. So it's kind of nice that it automatically handles it for you. But yeah, so there you are. You have endpoints, you have workflows, you have everything to be able to do do the blogging. The last piece that'll be in the next video is setting up your just copy and paste templates on your Bubble website to where you can start displaying these blog posts out in public. So join me at the next video.